Welcome to my Scrape Universe. It's your boy RS back at again with another video. And we're finally at the end, guys. We're finally at the last episode of Dragon Ball Super. Was it worth the wait? Well, you'll just have to see after you finish watching this review. Let's jump into this shit. So we start off with Goku being on the ground and Jiren commenting how futile and what is this trust that you keep going on about. And I want you to get used to seeing the word trust because that's going to pop up a lot in this episode. But the general concept after that is that Frieza's not telling him what trust is. I don't know what you mean by that. And after all the little talking that they do, Frieza says, "You shall experience the taste of defeats once more by my hand." So they have a skirmish. I'm not going to show you all the fight scenes. You can go watch the fight on your own time. But I want to start at this point because the fighting in this episode was good, and this dialogue between Frieza and Jiren really fucking cut deep, man. He says, "What happened to your usual poker face?" And he says, "Once shattered strength is so fragile. You're afraid to become the weakling you once were." Oh, man. He also threw in a part, there was also another part that I didn't put in here that he said, "I can hear your heart shrieking." I love this dialogue that came from Frieza, and the interaction that these two had really fucking cut deep. And I mean, obviously it did cut deep because this pissed Jiren off. He says, "You're gonna see how much power I really have." He steps on his tail and he starts wailing on him. And before he can get the finishing blow on Frieza, he uses telekinesis, smashes the rocks into Jiren, and he says, "You're getting too excited." At this point, 17 comes in, he tackles Jiren, and does the same move that he did earlier, and the blast works. He puts them inside of a concealed barrier, and the explosion does the most damage to Jiren. I feel like there should have been more damage done to 17 as he literally condensed the explosion inside the barrier, but I mean, whatever. Jiren is obviously hurt by this. He spits, he makes a little spit thing, a little spit take, and Goku comments on how amazing they are. Now, a lot of people were saying that, I know that some people that I've talked to have said that some people either don't care or some people are like, "Nah, that was really fucking stupid." I'm in the position where I mean, I don't really care, and the only reason why I don't is because at the end of the last episode, you could see that he was really low on energy and he was really drained. So I didn't think this was too much of an ass pull, so I'm gonna let it slide. Frieza comments that you went all out to stop him, and 17 says, I knew it'd be fine with you still here." And again, the honor thing, or not the honor, the trust thing, where Frieza says, "You honor me with your trust." So Frieza moves forward and, teases with his, his death beam that he always does. The death beam that he never gets a chance to use, like with Toppo. This is just so predictable. Anytime that you see Frieza do this, that someone's about to get the power up. But he says, "You lost the spirit to even look at me. What a shame. And I can't even see her pathetic face at the end." It is at this point that Toppo decides that he wants to jump into the mix and give Jiren a pep talk. He says, "What are you doing? You would kneel before our enemy. Is this how you want things to end?" And tells him to get up. And Frieza says, "Your friend is quite obnoxious," in which Jiren replies that "I have no friends." But Toppo continues and says, "You may not believe in your own strength, but I do. Until the end. You are strong. One of the strongest." And at this point, Jiren stands up. And he powers up, basically to the state that he was in when he was fighting Master Ultra Instinct Goku. Which means that, yet again, they have used the power of friendship to make a character stand again. Which doesn't even make sense with Jiren, because he is fundamentally a loner. Sure. Character development! At this point, Jiren backhands Frieza and gets him off. And fires, well, it's not really, I don't think he fired anything, but he basically gives off an entire, a really massive ki wave, and it starts pressuring both 17 and Frieza. Now, at this point, it looks like they're both screwed until the man himself, Ass Pullington, Goku, arrives.
What? What the fuck?
Oh my fucking god. Really? Are you serious? How is this man still standing? Let me get this straight. So this man has gone into Super Saiyan Blue 15 plus times, despite them literally saying that he is either tired or low on energy in 3 different ways. He goes into Ultra Instinct 3 times, in which his body is taking an extreme physical toll. And no less than approximately 20 to 30 seconds after he just was writhing in pain because he couldn't take the strain of Ultra Instinct, he's back on his feet and he still has energy.
Of course!
Of course he does. Of course! So, Goku hatches a plan, says, me and Frieza will go ahead. And Jiren comments, again, you stand before me. And again, these guys are pointing out that there's an amazing amount of an amazing amount of energy gathering in Jiren, which means that he's powered up quite a bit. And Vegeta says it looks like Jiren's gotten over his issues. Goku comments that he got this strong all by himself, in which Frieza takes the time now. He says, you haven't forgotten the promise to resurrect me, have you? And he's asking if he still remembers. Goku says, so long as you don't break your promise, I'll keep mine. Basically what he's saying is, as long as you don't, once you become resurrected, go around and start doing evil shit again, it'll be all good. But if you do that evil shit again, I'm coming after you. That's the gist of their promise. At this point, these guys overpower Jiren's blast and completely negate it. And see, at this point of the episode is where things started to go downhill, because like the first third of the episode was fine. I had no issues with it. But this, really, dude, these guys should not be matching Jiren right now. Not now, dude. With all the power that this guy is displaying, Goku's in base, Frieza's in his final form, and all you have is 17. How, dude? Whatever. I actually really like this this one scene. I can't figure out what about this scene really made me feel things. I felt things when I saw this screenshot, but I don't know. I really like this. It's weird, but I enjoyed this one moment of the episode a lot, so I gave some points to Toei for this part. At this point, they engage in combat, and would you look at it, freaking Goku and Frieza are actually working together. I didn't know that I wanted this, but I mean, I'll take it. Even Vegeta's like, what? But again, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I understand why they're working together, and it's because it's either this or get erased, so might as well. After another brief exchange, Frieza says to throw him, and at this point Goku takes him, and he does indeed throw him right into Jiren. And Frieza tries to take Jiren down with him. Doesn't really work. After another exchange, and it looks like Frieza is about to get knocked off the side, Goku comes in, and of course, of course, this man Goku has to go into Super Saiyan. Oh man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. If Vegeta is the Prince of Ass Pools, Goku is most definitely the king. Let's give him a round of applause. Truly the king of all ass pulls.
10.
And after that, the two of them finish off Jiren and knock him off the side. I really didn't want to have to talk about this episode in a derogatory way. I didn't want to. I wanted this to be a good episode. I wanted to like this episode. But are you actually fucking kidding me? Do you think you can... How much can this show possibly insult my intelligence? This man, Jiren, in a weakened state, was fighting Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Ultra Blue Vegeta, whatever the hell you want to call it, Kaioken times 20 Goku, and 17, all at the same time, and took virtually no damage. Now he loses to Ultra Drained Goku, Drained Frieza, and 17, despite the fact that he has even more power now than he did when he was fighting those three earlier. And how does it work? Friendship. At this point, all of them look at Jiren solemnly, saying they did a good job. Jiren is asking why these guys are actually, caring to him like this, because even though he treated them all with contempt. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you didn't call frickin' Toppo a pathetic piece of shit earlier, essentially, but you suddenly got a magical power from the same guy. Okay. And Goku says, I know we just finished fighting, but I still ain't had enough. And he said, I know you'll probably hate this, but I think we both got stronger together by fighting. And at that point, Universe 11 disappears. GG. The Grand Priest, talks to 17. And I'm not gonna lie, this is the one thing that I didn't predict, is that I had absolutely no idea that 17 was going to be the last person on the fighting stage. So at least Toei wasn't as predictable as I expected it to be, so I'll give them that. The Grand Prix says, have you decided on your wish? And at this point, they bring the Dragon Balls out. And I want to take a quick look at this, and the reason why I highlighted this in particular is because the Zenos basically say that this dragon, right, it can do anything. Like, literally anything. So, this begs the question, how strong is the person who made this shit? Like, remember that the Dragon Balls and the subsequent dragon that comes out of those balls, the dragon is only as powerful as the user. If the dragon can literally do anything, is the person who made the Dragon Balls like the most overpowered person in the Dragon Ball verse? And if so, where is he? Just some questions I have. I'm not gonna take any pot shots of super here. Just a genuine question that I had. And of course, the thing that I called like 6 months ago, all the universes are being restored.
Of course!
Tension! Universe 11, did you get erased like 30 seconds ago? Welcome back, motherfuckers. And speaking of Universe 11, they show basically all the universes that got resurrected back, but Toppo addresses Jiren, and Jiren says, in the end, Son Goku said that he wanted to see me again, but he says, I can't form connections with anyone. And at this point, Toppo says, have you always been such a coward? In that final battle, you tried to answer all of our hopes. Don't you think that connection formed between us for the first time? Next time we meet them, we won't lose again. And Jiren says, right. And I'm not gonna lie, I'll give some points to the Toppo speech. It was a good speech. you know, trying to form some sort of bond with Jiren the asshole or whatever he is. I don't even know what Jiren's character is. His character literally changes like every freaking episode. You can't even you can't even lock this guy down. I don't know what he is. But the fanboys, of course, are going to just say, well, the reason why his character keeps changing every episode is because character development. That's not how character development works. At this point, 18 comes along and says, you said you were going to travel the world with your family. Which is just a really bizarre statement to make. So, why are you surprised that he chose to save multiple universes over a cruise ship? So what you're telling me is that the cruise ship would have been the more logical decision? It's like, on the other hand, trillions of lives. On the other, cruise ship. What an agonizing decision I have to make. Are you serious? Okay. Just okay. 17 says, I say multiple universes. Surely I can handle my job and caring for my family on my own. At this point, Frieza says, would you be kind enough to send me back to hell? And Goku says, you got time left, right? And he says, listen, I don't like enjoying all these happy endings. This is basically hell for me. Just send me back, all right? And Whis says, then why don't you be happy too, Frieza? And just like that, he's resurrected.
Excuse me, what?
What the what? NANI? What the hold on. There are so many implications of this shit. First of all, we're gonna have to go all the way back to Resurrection F. My memory's a little bit fuzzy, so correct me if I'm wrong here. But in Resurrection of F, my man Piccolo died, right? He died. In that same arc, you took your staff and you rewound time so that Goku could beat Frieza. But if, again, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't the Dragon Balls used to resurrect Piccolo? Was that ever confirmed? Because if you could have done this, why didn't you use this to, I don't know, res Piccolo earlier? Instead of just having him be dead? What the fuck? I don't, so you could turn back time, but you couldn't res one guy? And second of all, haven't you basically killed the purpose for the Dragon Balls in Z now? Like, if you could just wave your staff and res people, what's the point of using the Dragon Balls anymore? That's what literally what the Z Fighters use the Dragon Balls for, like, 99% of the time now, is just rezzing people, and you can do that now. So, forget the Dragon Balls, fuck them. You don't even need them. Dragon Ball Super, just call it Whis' Staff Super. No, I got it. Whis' Super Staff. Yes, I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that. Original statement. He says that Beerus says that that he basically gave him this resurrection because he did a fine job. Whatever. And Great Priest goes over to Universe 7, and he says that Zeno predicted that there would be someone would be virtuous enough to consider the other universes. And Beerus says that if any other wish was made, and the Grand Priest says if a selfish wish had been made, he would have erased everything. Whoa. What the? Huh? a minute. Wait a fucking minute. Hold on. So, this tournament was to test. This whole tournament was a moral compass test? We're supposed to take fucking moral guidance from Mr. Sociopath? The guy who erases people on a whim? This is who we're supposed to take moral Let me get this straight. But let's go all the way back to the beginning. Bear with me here, okay? Please bear with me. So the reason why you got the idea for the tournament because you watched the U6 versus U7 tournament and you thought that was a good way to entertain yourself. You thought that was a good idea, right? Then you use the tournament, the tournament of power as an excuse to get rid of people or universes with a low moral level, right? Mind you, how they are going to survive in the tournament of power has absolutely nothing to do with why they're being put in the tournament to begin with. Because moral levels and power are not related. So they're being judged on power, even though power has nothing to do with moral levels. And now you're telling me that all of that was just a hoax. And the real purpose of this was to test the moral aptitude of mortals? That was your end goal? Why why did you use why was your plan so convoluted? Why did you have to erase universes? Why did this have to be the premise of your moral compass test? Who wrote this? Like, I'm trying to think of the thought process that could lead someone to this conclusion. It just doesn't make sense no matter how I fucking think about it. Where you started and where you ended are just, it's like you had a straight plane of thought, then you went off trail, then you went off trail even further, then you went off trail even further, and then you just fucking squiggled off into space. Wow. Wow, what convoluted trash writing this is. Wow, I'm at a loss for words. Zeno says, will you come back? And, of course, Goku says, yeah, and I'll see you, Zen-chan. They do a bro fist. It was emotional. We finally see, what happened with Trunks, Goten, and Marone on the island. I mean, I don't know why we didn't get a chance to see them, just as, a small filler episode, but I guess the arc was long enough as it is, and they just couldn't be asked to show that. Okay. We also get a brief cameo from, Bulma's sister for, the second time in the series, I'm pretty sure, because I'm so serious. When I first saw this, I was like,
wait a minute, who are you?
And then I asked them in the Discord, I was like, who is this person? And they're like, oh, that's Bulma's sister. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, she showed up in episode 26. And it took 105 episodes to bring her back for 10 seconds? You poor character. You're gonna be the next launch. And one of the last things I want to cover is Frieza. So, with all the things that Frieza has done in this tournament, and you know how they directed his character. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't see Frieza as a villain anymore. This guy is like the next Piccolo to me. Like I feel like they were trying to salvage his character as being a villain, but after seeing him fight with Goku, he's just another one of the guys. He doesn't feel like a threat anymore. He doesn't feel dangerous. He just feels like the remember the Piccolo that right after he killed Goku, like he reminds me of that Piccolo at the start of Z. So he might as well be a Z character. At this point, I really do not understand where they could possibly take his character, where he would be a villain, and you would be invested in him as a villain, as a character. So, I guess he's just a villain. Welcome. Sorry, not a villain. I guess he's part of the crew. Welcome to the club, Frieza. You and the other 6 guys that Frieza is cool with now. Or 5 guys, I'm sorry. Because you got 17, you got 18, you got Tien, you got Piccolo. Shit, man. You got Vegeta. Join the club, motherfucker. The guy who doesn't forgive people for hurting his friends. I guess he's gonna be cool with you next. Why not? At the end of it, we have Goku and Vegeta swapping hands, and he asks Goku what happened to your Ultra Instinct, and Goku responds that I guess I pushed it to the edge of the tournament and did it accidentally. So they're pulling. I knew that they were gonna do this, where he can't willingly go into Ultra Instinct. I fucking called this shit. So they're nerfing him now, but now this begs the question: is Vegeta stronger than Goku now? Because if Vegeta can still use his Ultra Blue, I mean, unless Kaioken times 20 Goku is even to that, I don't know. But Vegeta might be stronger than Goku now. I mean, I don't know, but we'll see. And at the end of it, they had them do the same stance that they did when they first fought on Earth. So I will actually applaud them for that homage. And that's the end of Super. My ending rating is a 4 out of 10. It's just it wasn't that great of an episode. I'm sorry. Like I was down with like the first 30 episode. I thought it was alright, but the fact that Jiren lost via elimination kind of diminished his character. They basically made him at the start of the series. He was literally fucking untouchable, man. And then at the end of it, he loses because friendship? And the premise of this tournament is completely garbage. Like, again, I tried to explain to the best of my ability how the tournament started and the reasoning behind that and what the underlying reason for that was. But no matter how you think about it, it's just convoluted. It doesn't make any sense. And what that basically tells me is that the tournament was rigged from the jump, because if anybody except for Universe 7 had won, that's basically the end of Super. Because he said he would have erased everything. Literally everything. And if he says he's going to erase everything, that means that he might have erased the people that had nothing to do with the tournament as well. So if Universe 7 didn't win, that was legit the end of Dragon Ball. Because we already know that Jiren did not intend on wishing anybody back, and he was the only other person that could have won the tournament. So, other than that, like I said, I like the fighting. There were some good chemistry moments in the episode, but the episode just felt a little rushed, man. It felt a little rushed. The premise of the tournament and the stakes were convoluted, and the stakes were non-existent. Just do better next time. I'm kind of looking forward to the movie because the art looks interesting, but if if it's gonna be based off the end of Z, not the end of Z, the end of the tournament power, the end of tournament power type of thing, I don't know. That movie seems, I'm a little skeptical about that movie now. We'll just have to see, I guess. I'll be making a discussion in a few days and do a full review of Super as well. Other than that, your boy R's is out.